Well, just to let you know, our Shanghai Quest will be broadcast throughout North America, so I'm sure he will see our No, just no, but how like for a suit this big, okay? Of course, as a tailor, we would hope to beautify the shape of the body in a way, you know. Can you do any alterations to make the suit look better on a big guy?
That's just the nature of tailor-made clothing. It's cut for your body, you know, and that's not something that's common in fashion. Fashion is made for a standard size, you know, so that in itself, you know, covers up stuff and makes stuff look better. And like, I mean, there's all sorts of examples. I mean, we have them on our website. There are all sorts of tips, you know, if you're shorter, you do this. If you're heavier, you do this, you know. So if you're heavier, off the top of my head, I think it's, you know, you wear a 2-button and you don't wear a vest, and because you don't want to put focus on this area, you know, whereas if you're a 3-button, if you wear a vest, it usually puts a lot more focus and emphasis on the stomach area. So, I mean, those are kind of examples.
Can you tell us the best way to wear a suit? What are some of the details that you can share with us so our audience could know more about, you know, whether or not they have been wearing a suit that fits them?
I think everything's about constant improvement. You know, like, you have a suit and you have a shirt right now, so what else can you improve on it? So you wear a tie and you include with a tie bar like this, and then sometimes you want to include cufflinks and whatnot. So it's just constant improvement.
Is tie bar back in fashion nowadays? Because it was like gone for...
Yeah, you know, all of those little accents, I think guys are getting more comfortable with accessories again. And I think it's something, because I mean, generally speaking, you know, suit, tie, and so I think people are starting to get a little more experimental with, hey, let's wear cufflinks on a Wednesday. Let's do a tie bar, you know, because nobody's wearing it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fresh. You know, so that sort of stuff is starting to come back.
But the tie bar, I receive gifts like with tie bars, but I never know like where to clip it. You know, should I clip it like in a mic place, or you know, where should I clip it? What is the ideal place to clip it?
I think it's right in the middle, and when you button up,
you should still see. Okay. And another question for a lot of audience out there, you know, when you button suit buttons, should we button all of them?
No.
But we do see them on the streets.
Yes, we do.
And we do see them wearing like blazers inside or sweaters inside.
Yeah, it's a common mistake. Like even experienced stylists, they still make the same mistake.
The general rule of thumb is if you have 3 buttons, top button is sometimes, middle button is always, bottom button is never. And so that same goes if you have a 2-button suit, the top button is always, bottom button is never. So you can wear it completely undone, but if you're going to do up a button, you always do up the number 2 button. And sometimes the 3rd one, never the bottom.
Never the bottom.
Yeah.
So why the bottom?
Just, that's the rules. But I think
just style.
Well, I think it also, I mean, it affects the way the suit will sit on you. You know, if it usually will bunch up and puff out if you've got the bottom button done up and nothing else.
Yeah.
So, and if you're walking, if the bottom button's undone, it's a little easier to move and flow. So.
Do you think Chinese guys, Chinese men really care about what they wear these days? Or, you know, what is the situation like? You know, are they really in tune with the fashion?
One of our role models that we always constantly reference as well is Tony Leung, the Hong Kong popular actor.
Tony Leung,
Liang Shaowei. In all his Liang Shaowei, and all his movies, you know, he never fails to wear impeccably. And that's one of the role models that we always tell our Chinese customers as well. Oh, look at him, look at his movies. You know, you have a role model here, right in China.
Okay, for a lot of people who are watching the show, they might be planning to buy their very, very first suit, first time in their whole lifetime.
Sure.
What is the color that you would recommend and a style?
Should be a dark color, either charcoal gray, or navy blue, or black.
Okay. So they have 3 choices.
Three choices. Keep it simple.
No, of course. What about shirt?
Just stick with white. I mean, like a white shirt. Well, if it's a well-fitting white shirt, you're good to go. It's, last you forever.
More so in the States or elsewhere in the world, the very first interview is very important. A job interview. You know, what is your impression of a suit for ideal suit for a job interview?
The key is actually not to dress up too much. Because I think a lot of kids, they really wanna act bigger than they are, especially if they're younger. And so oftentimes you've got a 22-year-old kid who goes into an interview wearing dressed better than the guy across the table from him. Mm-hmm. He's wearing cufflinks and he's got monograms and he's wearing a really heavy pinstripe.
Right.
And that's not what you want to do. You still need to look like you need the job.
Right.
And there's also all sorts of rules. Pinstripes, really heavy pinstripes, are usually reserved only for the higher level executives. Cufflinks are usually only reserved for more executive or more senior executives. So, generally speaking, you want to be a little more understated in the interview.
Right.
Because ultimately you want to be focusing on yourself, not necessarily what you're wearing.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you two guys are still very young, huh? What are your plans? Are you thinking of expanding your business or wrapping things up for you to take over? What are your plans?
Go for the stars. I mean, we're young. We've got nothing to lose. So that's the advantages we have is we didn't have any money to lose to begin with. So we're going for it.
You two never argue.
Argue all the time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We share it.
Argue. I would think you would win every time you argue.
Oh God, are you kidding me? No.
You talk more than he does.
No.
You don't use words to argue.
More aged way of arguing.
I'm more quiet when I'm angry, so he knows when to give in. No, but we've been best friends for a very long time, and it's amazing. Like people can be best friends, but they cannot be in business together.
Right, it's very difficult.
It's just amazing how Carl and I we communicate very often.
You also start learning naturally, this is where I'm really good, and this is where he's really good, and you learn to defer. There was a time when I had a lot of I would try to put a lot of my thoughts into what makes a good suit design, but I've come to learn that I don't have the best opinions in that field, and you just you figure that out.
That's his cup of tea,
and that's his cup of tea, and he's great at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's other places, like whether it's accounting or stuff, where that's that's my mantle. That's where I take.
I wouldn't touch accounting.
Yeah.
So you two will continue to work together?
Yeah, I think so. It's it's the first project of many. So
so I wish you two the best of luck, and wish you success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Heiko and Kyle for joining our show today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
We'll take a break right now, but we'll be right back with more information on tailor-made suits. Welcome back to Shanghaipedia. Well, if you're convinced by Heiko's expertise in tailor-made suits, you might want to have a try and order your very first bespoke suit. Although Indochino target mostly the American market, they also welcome walk-in customers from Shanghai. That's not all. You can try out other renowned tailors here in Shanghai. Dave's Custom Tailoring is highly recommended. Forbes magazine lists Dave's among the 10 best bespoke tailors in the world. Based in Shanghai, it now has branches in New York and London. Of course, if your budget is limited or you have a particular design in mind or in a magazine, just cut out that picture and bring it with you to Dongjiadu Fabric Market. People may tell you the tailoring there is not high in quality, but if you have an eye for details, you may actually find a good tailor who can make you a smart suit. And more importantly, the experience is one of a kind. Now we've come to the end of this week's Shanghai Quest. Let us know what kind of interesting people's lives and occupations you are hoping to see. We'll try to make every story inspiring to you.